Yemen is currently enduring an unparalleled humanitarian crisis, marked by widespread poverty, hunger, and despair. The country, once known for its rich culture and history, has become a landscape of ruin where its people struggle daily for survival. The situation is made even more dire by the actions of war profiteers, a powerful and ruthless lobby of individuals and groups who have seized control of the country's wealth and resources. These warlords and their networks, often referred to as the war economy, have systematically plundered the nation, turning the suffering of millions into a lucrative business. While the Yemeni people are trapped in a cycle of deprivation, starvation, and violence, these merchants of war have amassed vast fortunes. Their greed knows no bounds as they siphon off the country's wealth, exploiting its resources to fund their luxurious lifestyles abroad. Many of these individuals live in comfort and luxury in places like Jordan and Turkey, far removed from the horrors that their actions have perpetuated back home. They dine in fine restaurants, enjoy the safety of stable countries, and build empires on the backs of a starving population. In stark contrast, the people of Yemen are left to fend for themselves in a war-torn country where basic necessities are scarce. Children are the most vulnerable, suffering from malnutrition, lack of medical care, and the constant threat of violence. Families are torn apart, communities are destroyed, and the social fabric of the nation is unraveling at an alarming rate. The ongoing conflict has not only decimated the country's infrastructure, but has also created a vacuum in which these war profiteers thrive. They manipulate the situation to their advantage, perpetuating the conflict for their own gain while the rest of the country burns. This exploitation is a crime against humanity, yet it continues unabated. The international community often turns a blind eye, focusing instead on geopolitical interests rather than the human cost of the war. Meanwhile, the Yemeni people endure unimaginable suffering with no end in sight. The warlords and their allies, entrenched in positions of power, ensure that peace remains a distant dream. They have no incentive to end the conflict, as it is the very source of their wealth and influence. The situation in Yemen is a tragic testament to the destructive power of greed and the depths to which some will sink to maintain their wealth and status. The people of Yemen, once proud and resilient, are now caught in a nightmare from which there seems to be no escape. As the war drags on, it is the innocent civilians who pay the highest price, their lives and futures stolen by those who profit from their suffering. The world must not forget Yemen, and it must not allow these crimes to go unpunished. The time for action is long overdue, and the voices of the Yemeni people must be heard.